My name is Charlene Boyd, and I work at Providence Mount St. Vincent, and I'm here with Joan Whitley. So tell me how you first learned about the Mount.
I was taking a class, a postgraduate class, and Dyke Turner was in the same class.
Who was Dyke Turner?
And Dyke Turner at the time was working as an architect, and he absolutely loved the direction the Mount was going. That included having an intergenerational program. And he kept saying, "You should apply for this job, Joan." And I was, in fact, looking for a new job. And then I just thought, what the heck, I'll just do it. As soon as I sent the application off, I had this gut feeling it was going to be my job, and I was going to have to figure out where West Seattle was and how I was going to get there every day.
So when you applied for the job and came in Mount St. Vincent, what was your first impressions?
The person who was showing me around, he was talking about the idea of having children in the building and building something intergenerational. I had never been in long-term care before, and I had never been in assisted living before. I wasn't entirely sure this was a good fit for me.
Because of?
It just was overwhelming. It was so overwhelming. And that was the day when you went up in the elevator and you opened the door and there was this crush of people, I think lonely, just wanting to talk to somebody. And it was just too much. It felt pretty scary to me. And from the time I was hired until we were really out there with kids was a while. I mean, it took a few months to get the children's rooms renovated and then to get the kids and staff open to having kids come and visit on the
So you were the
floors.
first child care director taking this from not having a child care to an intergenerational center.
Yes.
What were the goals and thinking?
Oh, I think it was to help everybody, kids and seniors, feel more connected to the whole range of humanity. That it's not just a lot of old people together and that's all you see, except for the staff that come in, and for children to see the whole range of humanity, from not just little kids and teachers and parents, but elder people as well.
So fast forward and say it's a year later, did you think that you made a great choice of coming to develop this child care center?
I did. Initially, there was resistance here. There was a pushback to having kids in the building. Somebody even wrote a letter to the West Seattle Herald about the kids being in a
Sick
home
kids
for
being with
old
older adults
people
and all those
how
things.
horrible that would be, and they're so noisy and blah, blah, blah. David Jones walked in to my office with this letter that was in the West Seattle Herald, and he flopped it down on my desk, and he said, "Answer this."
And how did you answer that?
I wrote a letter back to the West Seattle Herald. Well, I said something about the value of these two people being together and what I had seen. I had really seen some stuff, and I had had staff people who said to me, "I don't want any children in my area." However, I had other voices saying children can go throughout the building. Then somebody came to me and said, "Your teacher brought a baby in, and Mrs. Such and Such was so happy to see a baby." That sort of movement, that seeing babies, some people would come down and want to sit in the baby room and just rock a baby. They wanted that connection.
So those are some good memories. Can you think of some more?
We would take kids, 4 to 5 or 6 kids and 4 or 5 or 6 adults and staff. And they did this activity where they drew around each other's hands. And it was delightful because both the kids and the adults loved it.
Have you had any family members through the Mount?
My oldest grandson is autistic. He had his own special times here. He used to go up to people and sing them a song. People would go, "Oh, thank you. Who are you?" "Oh, you're Henry." He would sing a Beatles song called "Love Me Do." Kids, like adults, should be able to make some of their own choices, as many as possible. They should be able to do what they can do with the least amount of help possible, and they should be listened to. Their ideas are important, whether they're 2 or 4 or 82. My job is to help people come out with their own ideas and their own thinking and to listen to that. It's really important to be heard. You know, there's one thing that I think of that we didn't talk about.
Oh, well, let's hear it.
And that's the families who came with me, with our kids, who didn't know anybody in this building, but agreed that their kid could be part of it. And some of those families became volunteers here. Some of those families came in with their child and met the people that their kids were seeing, and they benefited from that broader perspective on humanity and what's done here at the Mount.
I just thank you so much for opening up and talking about this.
I'm glad to.
Thanks, Joan.